the cynics, I say, do not dismiss dreams as idle visions. Ladies and gentlemen, my dream is that California, the nation state, the harmonious state, the prosperous state, the cutting-edge state, becomes a model, not just for the 21st century American society, but for the larger world. It's been said that most places are united by their past, but California is united by its future. Other places are united by what was, but we are united by what can be. So as I begin this new term as your governor, I make this simple pledge to the people of California. I will look to the future, I will look to the center, and I will look to the dreams of the people. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Y'all remember back in the day when California had a decent governor? More than a decent governor, actually. Y'all had the governator. We were your neighbors. We were in Washington, Washingtonians, lifelong, although not for, the last couple years or before we were born. We were here on the IOB. Any damn way. I'll be back. Now you have, I'm back, by the way. This is not the nuisance. Newsom, that's his name. Gavin Newsom. He is the governor now. Let's throw up a couple clips just side by side.
We dominate in two-way trade and research and development, access to innovation, more scientists, more researchers, more engineers, more Nobel laureates in the state of California than any other state in the nation, the finest system of higher education. It's the birthplace of life science and biotech and nanotechnology. We dominate in green tech. We dominate in high tech. We dominate in artificial intelligence. So with respect, I think it's an interesting campaign strategy for Ron DeSantis to be bashing a state of 40 million Americans when California simply has no peers.
Well, that's a pretty slick way of not answering your question. He went on a binge of putting out a lot of left-wing platitudes. Here's what I would say. I talked to a lot of the people that have moved from California to Florida, and we never used to get people from California to Florida or really anywhere in the East Coast. Why would you leave California? It's got the best weather, great natural forces. Excuse me, sir. But one of the things that I did, I was talking to a gentleman,
Guys, I'm going to let the debate breathe. But it's his turn. Let's take turns.
So I was talking to a fella who had made the move from California to Florida, and he was telling me that Florida is much better governed, safer, better budget, lower taxes, all this stuff. And he was really happy with the quality of life. And then he paused and he said, by the way, I'm Gavin Newsom's father-in-law. So we do count Gavin's in-laws as some of the people that have fled California and come to the state of Florida. And why are we getting people to come? We have a 50-year low in the crime rate. You don't see, in the last 10 years, we've had a 45% decline in homelessness. California's had a 45% increase in homelessness. We back the blue. I was walking the streets of San Francisco a couple months ago, and I had some of the cops in San Francisco do a beeline to come over to me, and I didn't know what they were going to say. And they're like, we want to thank you for standing for law enforcement because we don't get that support in the state of California. So people understand quality of life matters. They understand that Florida's doing it right, and I can tell you the numbers speak for themselves. We have way more people moving to this state than leaving. Gavin can't say the opposite. More people are leaving California than are moving into California.
Let me bring up
coming to California the other way around the last 2 years. But let's talk about crime.
Governor, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
He said a lot of things that were factually untrue, including that 50-year crime low, which his own law enforcement team said you should not be using.
You have yet to address the issue, but I asked you twice. You don't want to answer it. But the issue of why the migration out of red states, out of blue states.
We just established more Floridians coming to California in the last 2 years than the
overall.
other.
You had a net loss
of 7. You didn't establish it.
It's a fact.
You just asserted it.
It's a fact.
No, it's not a fact.
You know what he said to me then? He said, Arnold, I'll be back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, America is back.